Did Harley Sawyer actually die in Chapter 4? Harley Sawyer, also known as the Doctor, serves as the primary antagonist in Chapter 4. Once a brilliant yet reckless man, Sawyer played a leading role in Playtime Co.'s Bigger Bodies initiative. However, as his experiments and decisions grew increasingly dangerous, he became too valuable to lose and too dangerous to eliminate. To maintain control over his knowledge, Playtime Co., led by Leith Pierre and Dr. White, transferred Sawyer's consciousness into a digital form. Now existing as the Doctor, he became the factory's central intelligence, overseeing its operations and experiments from within the system. Throughout Chapter 4, we undergo a series of survival-based tests planned by him. These include locking doors to contain hostile critters in the prison test, retrieving batteries while evading Baba Chops, and ultimately facing Yarnaby, who the Doctor claims as his personal pet. Each one of these trials builds towards the final confrontation, where the Doctor is seemingly defeated after the Omnichip is forcibly removed from him. Once losing control of the system, he explodes and everything turns black. But did the Doctor really die? As we ascend in the construction elevator, we enter a dimly lit hallway filled with glitching monitors, a detail heavily emphasized in Chapter 4's trailers. What we see suggests that there is instability within the factory's network, foreshadowing the Doctor's presence still lurking within the system. When we reach his headquarters, we are suddenly attacked by one of his minions, a Sarli Hoyer, throwing us down into an unknown location. With a flashlight in our hand, we traverse this new area and quickly realize that this location is a maze. We must insert batteries into their corresponding compartments, which opens their gates in order to progress. Throughout these sequence of events, Sarli minions appear in 3 different states. The first one is inactive. These minions are non-hostile, as we can see a majority of them are broken, as they have a blank black screen. The second state is rebooting. These have to warm up before attacking, and we must pass by them in order for them to activate. And this explains why they have a yellow display before attacking, which brings us to state 3, which is active. These immediately attack us, hence the red monitor screen. After navigating the maze, we emerge to the Doctor's location, where we meet him face to eye. With the Omnichip now accessible, the Doctor makes one last desperate attempt to stop us by activating all of his remaining minions at once. As his system crashes, his monitor violently explodes, seemingly marking his death. Yet his final words are significant to us.
You saved.
So, did we truly defeat him? Or did we simply shut down one aspect of his presence? Let's look at the evidence we have. During one of the Doctor's tests, we encountered containers filled with frozen preserved body parts, lungs, and a brain. To proceed, we have to overload the containers with electricity, causing them to explode. Once we're finished, the Doctor reacts with frustration. His words to us suggest that these body parts may have held a greater significance than what meets the eye, possibly being the body parts of his original body. However, one body part is never found, the heart. If these pieces truly belong to Sawyer, the absence of a heart raises another question. Was it stored separately? Could Leith Pierre and Dr. White have anticipated that if someone or something were to try and destroy Sawyer, if they never got his heart, they would not be able to fully eliminate him? This could allow his consciousness to still remain intact. Unlike other experiments, the Doctor is not a physical being. He is a digital consciousness integrated into the factory's systems.
Oh, it looks like he's waking up.
Where am I?
Dr. Sawyer.
White? White, is that you? Who else is in there with you? You enjoy watching me rise like one of them?
Who gave you the order?
I gave the order, Sawyer. Let me tell you how this is gonna go, Sawyer. From now on, you're here to give the lab boys answers when they need them, and carry out procedures when and how we tell you to. That's it. So fight, or give in, or whatever. Because either way, we own the infrastructure you're wired into.
This implies that the Doctor's knowledge and consciousness was distributed across Playtime Co.'s network, rather than contained in a singular location. Since the Omni chip granted him control over the factory's operations, it doesn't necessarily mean its removal is what killed him entirely. Instead, it may have only severed his direct influence over the facility's functions, while leaving his core consciousness intact elsewhere. Also, Leith and White specifically chose to fuse him into their systems rather than eliminate him, implying that they may have had failsafes in place to ensure his survival. If he could be destroyed so easily, what would have prevented previous threats from shutting him down long ago? If they went to such extreme lengths to preserve his knowledge, it is reasonable to assume they implemented backup protocols. His consciousness may still exist in fragments across the network, waiting for an opportunity to resurface. And lastly, what if we only shut down his power grid? Throughout chapter 4, the factory relies heavily on power grids and backup systems, hence the batteries we place into their consoles. Given that the Doctor is described as the brains of Playtime Co., it is possible that his explosion was not his true destruction, but rather a strategic failsafe. It was a way for a period of time to shut him down, giving time for him to restart the mainframe, his CPU, or even his backup hard drive. He says to us in his final moments, "You've saved no one." If he had truly been destroyed, why would he claim that our efforts were meaningless? This statement implies that his presence was not fully erased, and he may still exist in some capacity. Consider his earlier warnings. "I will bury myself so far no one will find me."
Bury myself so far down that no one will ever find me. Not you, not the prototype, not anyone.
Could he have transferred himself into an inaccessible part of the system? If so, his CPU could still be active, lying dormant until the right conditions allow him to return. So, did we really kill him? Or was this some sort of dramatic exit that Playtime Co. put in place to make us think we did, to let our guard down in the labs for chapter 5? If he does return, could he be even more powerful than before? So, maybe the Doctor isn't gone. Maybe he's still watching, waiting. Every flickering monitor, every corrupt file, every unexplained glitch, he's still there, buried in the system. After all, programs don't die, they just go dormant.